Hey, it's been a while. I'm really sorry. But yeah, today I'm going to be talking about failure and failing, and just how to move on, how to move forward from it. I did really want to start by saying, just because you failed, it doesn't make you a failure. That's not a label that you should carry with yourself. And I just find it really interesting, like us human beings in general anyway, it's so easy for us to hold on to the negative things, like the mistakes we make, the failures we go through, and take that on as that's who we are, and I don't think we do that quite as much when in our victories and our successes. Well, not to the same extent. It doesn't hold us back in the same way, obviously, but you know what I mean. It doesn't, you don't take it in and internalize it as much as you do with the negative things and the mistakes you make. And I think that's such a shame, because where there's failure, there's growth. Where there's defeats, like, you can overcome it. There's so much beauty in the failings. There's so much beauty in the setbacks and the things that we don't do so well the first time around. And I think if we are able to focus on what's next, or what we can learn from it and how we can grow from it, what we can take from that not so nice experience and very negative experience really, then oh my gosh, there's so much beauty in that, there's so much growth in that. And that's really what I wanted to focus on today. Obviously I'm going to be doing it in the context of where I failed, and failing is such a universal thing, and I'm hoping that you guys can relate in some way, whether you're studying medicine or not. Because to be honest with you, most of the failings that I remember the most, that have had the most impact on me, are the ones that happened on this medical school journey. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there, that I know our feelings are very real, and feeling like a failure, feeling like someone who isn't good enough, if it does feel real, it does have an impact on you. It's heavy, man. It hurts, but our feelings are so fickle. Oh my goodness, so fickle, and it's not something you can rely on. And just because, as real as they are, the things that are fueling them, the things that are making you feel so negatively about yourself, are not real. Like, just because, I'll use myself as an example, just because I didn't get into medical school the first time round doesn't make me a failure. That doesn't define me. Like, what defines us isn't even our successes, really. It's not our failures or or our successes. It's more like our essence, our being, the person we are inside, And if you think about it this way, like, the people that you're surrounded by, the people that love you, they don't love you necessarily because of what you do, but just because of who you are, because of the state of your heart. So yeah, I just wanted to say that right from the onset, right from the get-go, that failing at something, making a mistake, not being successful, doesn't define who you are. It's not the be all or end all. What is really important is what you do with that next, like where you go from that. So yeah, let's get started. Yeah, so basically around this time last year, I found out that I had failed my January exam for second year. Whew. When you can laugh about it now, like, and it's still a nervous kind of laugh. It's still like if I don't laugh, what am I supposed to do, like, at this point? Yeah, it was unfortunate, but it is what it is. I didn't think it would ever happen to me, but second year was really tough, and medical school is tough in general, and it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. So yeah, around this time last year I found out I had failed, and the way my medical school does it is that you have 2 exams, one in January and one in the summer, and at the end of the year it's a combination, like you compile the marks from both exams, and that says if you've passed or not. So luckily, yes, I had failed that particular exam in January. It was the first of the 2. I had 2 in January and I failed 1 paper. So yeah, So thankfully, I mean, I had the summer to make up for those. I had the summer to make up for those marks. But regardless, it was very, very stressful. It wasn't nice opening up your email and seeing unsatisfactory, because that's what we get, unsatisfactory or satisfactory. And then the breakdown comes a bit later on in the day. So yeah, I found out that I failed, and it was a bit of a hit. It didn't feel good, obviously, but to be honest with you guys, it was that experience, like from that point, finding out that I failed, moving on, that whole experience was what fueled me to start this channel, actually. Because I remember, I think a few weeks onto the exam, just feeling so stressed, really feeling the pressure, and just telling myself, do you know what, Ek? Because I've been wanting to start this channel for a while, but I was like, do you know what, Ek? If you can do this, if you can get through this, then you have to encourage other people that are coming after you, or people, anyone, that if I can do it, you can do it, kind of thing. Because at that point it was just really, really difficult. And post failure, you have like your highs, you have your lows, you have moments where you're just like, yeah, I'm really motivated, I can do this, and then times where you're just like, oh God, I'm really tired. What if it doesn't happen? What if? And honestly, I had to change my mindset slowly to the even if, even if it doesn't go right, even if this summer exam is too hard, even if I'm still going to try, I'm still going to do my best, I'm still going to keep working hard, I'm going to be consistent, and I'm still going to succeed. Even if this summer doesn't go well, I'm going to retake whatever happens, even if, and that was just ringing in my head constantly. So yeah, I'm going to talk you guys through some of the tips, things that helped me through that period, and yeah, just how I got through it. Just give me a second. My phone is falling down. Right, so I'm going to start. Hold on, made some notes. Okay, so the first thing is to rest. Yes, the first thing is to rest. I know when I got my results, I had a moment of just, it wasn't a, it was like a what? And I cried a little bit, spoke to my mum, spoke to some of my friends, and I didn't take the time to really rest, if I'm being honest. And the only reason I remember that is because one of my friends came over. I think she was thinking she was going to console me, but she was literally on my bed, and I was at my desk like, I got work to do, kind of thing. So I would say definitely rest, recuperate, just have some time to take it in, let it sink in. Yeah, just to relax a bit. The second thing I would say to do is to reflect. In that time of rest, all of these things kind of come in hand. So in that time of rest, take a moment to reflect on what it is you've done, and the good things that you've done. Like, really think about those ones, the good things, the good decisions you made, and also the things that you could have improved on, changes that might need to be made, areas in which you were areas in which that need improvement, So reflect definitely on the positives and on the negatives. And I find when I'm reflecting, because life comes at you, there's always so many things happening. Sometimes you feel it's not always your fault, but I do find that if I can think of a few things, at least one, there has to be one thing, none of us are perfect, but if I can think of a few things on my reflection where I could have improved, things that I did wrong, things that might have led to me failing, then it just means the power is in your hand, kind of thing. Like, you have control over those things. You can make those changes if it's something that you personally have done wrong, So it's not always bad. Like, it's very easy when you do something wrong and just beat yourself up about it, like, oh, you stupid girl, like, oh, come on, you should have known better, kind of thing. But I think it's better when it's you, you know, because then you can say, okay, this is what I did last time, not doing that again. So it's easy to control that side. For the other things, the other life events that maybe take up more time than they need to. I mean, you have family, you have friends, you have finances. There's so many things that can lead to failing at something or failing exams. For those things, it's just compartmentalizing them, and you don't have much control over that. So the things that you do have control over, you can work with those. So we've got resting, reflecting, and then this is the crux of it, making a plan, making a solid plan about how you're going to go about this next period, like how you're going to, for me anyway, this next summer exam, how am I going to revise? Which areas so from the reflection, which areas did I say I need to work on? And how am I going to implement this? Who am I going to do, who am I going to ask for help? Who am I going to ask for help? Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, I don't know about everyone else, but I can speak for myself. Every single year it's taken like a village for me. You know, like how they say it takes a village to raise a child? In my mind, in my experience, it takes a village to get EC through med school. It really, really does. I can't do it by myself. I don't think there's any major things that you really can do. Well, I mean, you can do them by yourself, but it's just so much easier. It's so much less lonely when you have people that are supporting you, and that can be just someone saying, oh, calling you, saying how you are, or a study buddy or study buddies, or your friends taking you out for a weekend, like, a few hours, you know. So making a plan, I don't know how I got here from making a plan to this, but yeah, I was just saying, in your plan it can be including people to help you in that, knowing who to ask for help, knowing when to ask for help, knowing when to do things by yourself, knowing when to get on with it, and just timing it. You guys know how you make your own plans, you know how you sort your things out, and you know the kind of things that need your attention in your day-to-day life, so you make your plans accordingly. I'm just saying there are certain things to include, like looking after yourself, taking breaks, still doing the things you enjoy, spending time with your friends and your family, but prioritising your work, prioritising that thing in that moment. So if there's a time frame for something, knowing when to say, no guys, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when you're really at your wit's end, like when it's too much, when it's too hard, know when to relax, okay? I know that's a bit of a mouthful, but we've got rest, we've got reflecting, we've got making a plan, and the fourth one is carrying it out boldly. I have to include that one. I know it's a bit of a faffy one, but guys, with failure comes fear, guaranteed. With failure comes fear, and if you're anything like me, that was probably one of my biggest fears, the fear of failing, the fear of not completing what I want to do in this life, the fear of not being successful, not making myself proud, not living up to my potential, you know. So with failure does come fear, and fear can be so paralyzing, and I'm not even talking about the mental sense, guys. I have physically been stopped because of fear, because of the anxiety of it all. So yeah, I'm just saying, like, carrying out boldly sounds a bit waffly, but just going for your plans boldly, going for your dreams boldly, fearlessly, knowing, do you know what, you will not kill me. I cannot die for you. and just doing your best, honestly. One thing I found in the whole thing of failure is, I've said it already, is just, you don't know, guys, I'm going to come closer so you really hear me. You don't know what you're made of until you're put in that position. You don't know how strong, how resilient you are until you're in the pit, until you're in the fire of it all. You don't know what you're made of until you actually have to work, until you actually have to bring out everything that's in you. And my goodness, by the time you're done, I mean, the fear will, I'm not saying it'll completely decrease. I'm not saying it won't be there anymore, but you just look at challenges differently. You look at setbacks differently. You look at yourself differently. You're like, I mean, okay, yeah, so I didn't do so well here, but I did that before. I managed to get through it that last time. So let's keep going. Let's get there again. Like let's keep fighting. Let's pick ourselves up and let's keep going, you know? Honestly, like the amount of growth that comes from these setbacks, the amount of, oh, guys, I'm getting excited just thinking about it. But the person you'll be, the where your mind will be afterwards, post this mountain, this hurdle, you'll almost think it's worth it. In most cases, you'll think it's worth it. You'll see it as a blessing, you know. There's one quote, I don't know if it's Nelson Mandela, but it's, you don't know. Hold on, let me find it. Yeah. So the quote was from Nelson Mandela, and it's, "It always seems impossible until it's done." And how many of you can really sit back and think about one specific example in your life where you're just like, how on earth did I get through that? In the moment, it feels like the biggest thing. It feels like the biggest hurdle. It feels like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get through this. And by the time you've crossed over it, you don't even realise when you've crossed over it. You don't even realise when that hurdle has been cleared. So that always rings true for me. So we've rested. Sorry, that would have been rude. We've rested, we've reflected, we've made our plan, we're carrying it out boldly. And finally, this fifth one comes under all of them, is being kind to yourself through it all. Through the whole journey, loving yourself through it all, you know? Being kind to yourself, and recognising that you're only human, you know? We all make our mistakes, we all have our problems, none of us are perfect. So just being kind to yourself while you're working, yeah, because it's so important to love yourself through it all, regardless of when you're doing well and when you're not doing well. We can be our own biggest critics, and be so hard on ourselves when really we're doing such a good job. We're doing such a good job. And on that note, actually, before I forget, is not comparing. One thing I've personally applied to my life is the only time I'm comparing myself or looking at what my friends are doing, how they're doing things, or even people that I admire from afar, like celebrities, for example, or other people who are kind of doing the things that I want to do. The only time I compare myself to them is when I'm seeing, oh, how is it that they got there? How can I learn from that? One of my friends in the year above, she goes to uni in Belfast. She really inspires me, and it's not, I look to her like, wow, okay, there are so many things that she's been able to do. I'm like, okay, these are opportunities that are there. These are things that I could do. So I see it as more so motivational, more so as there's no glass ceiling, you know. There are things that the opportunities are endless, you know. There's no limit to what you can do. So I always say, if you're going to compare yourself to someone, if you're going to be looking at someone else's journey, number one, take it with a pinch of salt, because you don't know everyone's story. You don't know anyone's full, complete story. And number two, only compare yourself if you're taking something positive from it, not if you're bringing yourself down from it. So that's one thing to apply. So yeah, guys, love yourself through it all. Make some realistic plans and just go fervently, go passionately, go boldly in pursuit of your dreams. Be bold in pursuit of your dreams. Yeah. Oh yeah, so I did end up passing my summer exams, and honestly, like the things I've shared with you guys, those really did help me, as well as the encouragement I got from other people, which is why I say it takes a village. Sometimes you can't motivate yourself, and you need the people around you to be very supportive and to uplift you when you're down. Like I said, it comes in waves. 1 minute you're really high and you're like, not high, but you know what I mean, like you're really motivated and you think, yes, I've got this, and then other times it's just like, oh god, it's too much, it's too hard, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. Yeah, and it goes from there. So yeah, I don't know if you want a real life example, like something that I did, but I found myself waking up a bit earlier because last year we had lectures in the afternoon from like 1 till 5 or something. So I just wake up earlier. Like I think the earliest I'd be waking up is 6 at times. I pray and then straight to the desk. Like guys, at times I wouldn't even brush my teeth first. I'd work for a few hours, then make myself presentable, eat breakfast, go again until my lectures, and then come back after lectures, come back and work. It was really a cycle at times. So there are sacrifices that need to be made in all of these things, depending on what it is that you guys are trying to achieve, what it is you're trying to do. But yeah, I really just wanted to, I think the main thing is just knowing that you're not alone, knowing that other people have probably failed at this as well. And I know sometimes it can be a bit like, obviously you don't want others to fail, but I found personally, like people I follow on social media, doctors for example, when I found, honestly, there are people who have failed in some part of the journey and they're still there. They're there as doctors, they're achieving amazing things. So it kind of puts things into perspective when you see someone that you admire or see someone that is doing what you want to do and hasn't got there easily. And I'm sure we all know there's not one person that has got to where they are without some setbacks. So that alone is encouraging. So yeah, guys, I feel like I've been going, not stopping. But I hope this is helpful.